fans, what are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do here? We're psyched, we're pissed, we're disappointed, we're excited. I don't know. What are we gonna do? Here it is. It's over. The pain is over. At least the continued infliction of pain by the games we are stuck watching with our New York Jets. We had a fun weekend. No? Little bit. No, not so much. I know my tanksters are furious. Furious, and I think rightfully so. Don't forget I am a tankster. Not a tankster in the same way as maybe some others, but I kind of wanted a loss today. What are you going to do? So the Jets, my friends, they found some ways to hurt our feelings. No matter what side of this you're on, we'll get into all that. We're going to talk about Breece Hall. We're going to talk about Garrett Wilson, Joe Tippmann. We're going to talk about Joe Douglas. We're going to talk about Robert Saleh, and we're going to talk about Bryce Huff, and we'll talk about this game and the pros and cons. We're also going to dump the top 3 finest moments of the season on you. Why not, right? Why not? Let's do that. Let's do that on episode 145 of GreenBean's Jets Pod. I am glad that you are here. Truly, sincerely, I mean that. I'm glad you're here. This is a fun thing that we get to do. We try to make the best out of things. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy task that we have. You know, it's funny, you know, people ask me, hey, do you feel happy for Todd Bowles? You feel happy for Geno Smith? I don't feel happy for anybody. You want to know why? Because we as a collective are unhappy. So therefore, I am happy for no one, not a single fan, team, player, nothing. That's not New York Jets related. Do I feel good that Roger Saffold got allowed to go play for a playoff team and Dalvin Cook? No, I am not I'm not happy for those people. I am not. I am not happy for anyone except the New York Jets players and the New York Jets fans. You. I am happy if you're happy. Damn it. And it's hard. It's hard to do around here. I will say this before we get started. It is a fantastic service. If you would do me the pleasure of giving me those there milk thumbs, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel or you just haven't felt the need to pull the trigger on hitting that red button. Go ahead and do that for me today if you wouldn't mind. We are just on the precipice of our 12,000 subs, and what a nice thing that would be. End the season popping over a plateau. Why not? Thank you for all who have chosen to do so up to this point. I am sincerely grateful for all of you and all the support. It's a great thing that you guys do. Don't forget you can join the Stream Beaners and get emojis for our live streams and free super chats. Or you can join the Beanbaggers, where we get together numerous times a week in a private room and have our chats and our deconstructions of players and things that we like to talk about. It's amazing, and I love my Beanbaggers. You guys make it all worth it for me. I mean that sincerely. So anyway, let's get into this thing, huh? What happened today? Well, we went into the game. It's the last game of the year. We have some real stuff to look at. Either we lose this game and continue this abysmal streak of not being able to beat the damn Patriots for 15 consecutive games. It's a long time. That's 7.5 years. We haven't seen us beat them. Isn't that something? 7.5 years. When you say it like that. Yeah. When you say it like that. It's terrible. 15 games, okay. 7.5 years. I was 43 years old. Sheesh. I still lived in Florida. Can you believe it? I don't even know what to say about that. So you can do that. You go in. Do we beat them? Do we win? We can continue this streak of losing to the Patriots. But then our draft pick goes up, right? So, at least we don't go down any further in the draft. People say, hey, a draft position doesn't guarantee a good player. No, you can certainly blow it. Jets have done that. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, right? Lots of times. Vernon Golston, right? We got all kinds of examples of the Jets being up there in the top 10 and blowing it. But here's the interesting thing about that. I'm going to point something out to you guys as we swirl around and look at this thing that we're grabbing onto, this draft history of the New York Jets. Joe Douglas has only had a top 10 pick 3 times, I think it is. 3, right? He's had 11 with Becton. He had, what was next? Then he had the number 2 with Zach. He chose Zach Wilson, and he traded up to 13 or whatever it was for AVT. The following year, what did we do there? The following year, he had 2 top 10 picks, right? And then this year, we don't know. It looks like we'll have a top 10 pick, so this will be the 4th time. But so far, he's had 3 opportunities to pick in the top 10. One is Zach Wilson. Everybody would have taken him. It's a quarterback. Not me, of course, but everybody else would have taken him. You remember, I got my face beat in, figuratively speaking, by all you Zach lovers out there. I was like, dude, I don't like him. I mean, if they like him, fine, I'm in. But I wanted to trade back so bad and get those 3 firsts back up, get Fields, Mac Jones, whoever. I didn't like anybody over another except for Trevor Lawrence. But it is what it is. So everybody would have taken Zach. He was the consensus second quarterback in that draft when the draft was upon us. So fine. But it didn't work for us. So that's that. But the other ones are pretty good. And that is Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. They are absolutely worthy of being the top 10 picks that they were. Sauce being a top 5 pick. So Joe's only had 2 top 5 picks. Zach Wilson, who understandably he took, and then Saucy Poo Gardner. So there you go. It's not so, but then you'll start looking as you go down. We got Will McDonald last year with the 15th pick. You got Mekhi Becton with the 11th pick. So it's not to say that the Becton pick didn't make sense. It did. But the Will McDonald pick is interesting, to say the least. But who knows? Maybe he's the best thing since sliced bread. We don't know. He got a sack in the Patriots game, so that's real nice to see, with very limited playing time. So maybe he's a baller, man. Maybe he's the guy we love and need. Who knows? But so it doesn't, yes, you can blow any pick. You can blow the first pick and you can blow the last pick. Of course. But it does improve the potential of getting what we call blue chip prospects. These guys that are, guaranteed almost to be studs. You got the Joe Alts, the Fashanus, the Marvin Harrison Juniors of this year outside of the quarterbacks that the Jets would be interested in. So there are these guys that, once you start getting out of that range with wide receivers, tackles, sure, you got Neighbors, you got O'Dunes in the wide receiver room, but you got Fuaga, you got Latham, you got all these Mims maybe. So who knows, but then you start getting question marks as you move down the board, especially after you start getting to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th prospect in that positional group, right? So that's what we're talking about now. But so even the tanksters could be very, very upset today. But you got the guys who wanted to win. I don't root for my team to lose and all that shit. I only get so many games. I want to have a good time. Okay, great. But even for that, the game was kind of poopy. Can we say that? It was poopy. Now, the end of the game was what it was. They kind of got excited and they started, beating up the quarterback and getting interceptions and fumbles and all kinds of fun stuff started happening. We saw Breece Hall rip a 50-yard touchdown around the left side. Now, here's what I'll say. And I went into this game. You guys know we do the live reaction and watch party, which I love all you guys that come in there with us. We had a great time today, for the most part. We always have fun in there. And I was really kind of impervious. There was nothing that could happen except for a couple of things. I didn't want to see our starters get injured. We saw Garrett Wilson get almost his neck broken, and he went out for the rest of the game. Figures, last game of the year. This kid has been beaten and bumped and bruises and hit, and he has always come back. This one knocked him silly, and it would really be a shame to find out he has some sort of injury that could keep him out for any prolonged period of time, or even worse, endanger his long-term health. For what? For what? Right? Play Brownlee, play Irv Charles, play Gibbs. Who cares at this point? But they wanted to win the game because Saleh wants to be able to. It's not how many. It's not how you did it. It's how many. Right? So all right, one more for Saleh. There you go. But and Saleh wanted to beat Bill, at least once. If he is leaving the Pats, you want to beat him once. There you go. So now we won 2 games in our division this year. Not bad. Last year we won 1 game in the division. Or 2, we won 2 games. So now he's got 4 wins in the division. Not bad, Salah. Doing great. So we have all that stuff to look at. But the only thing I would have cared about is injuries. We saw Garrett Wilson and Joe Tippmann go down. 2 guys I did not want to see get injured. But they did. That sucks. The other thing is this. I didn't even see it coming. I didn't even see it coming. The idea that Breece Hall, who has been misused all year, right? We heard this crazy comment this last week from our offensive coordinator, Mr. Hackett. He said this. We were surprised, or I'm paraphrasing, but he said, we're surprised to learn how effective Breece Hall could be in the passing game. We didn't realize it till the Giants game. What a smart fella. Can you believe? So I've been talking about this, but let's just say it here. The fact that you didn't know that, like, did you not watch any film? Did you not see the guy you had? When he's on the field, he's doing better than Dalvin Cook, Michael Carter. You didn't see, just by that alone, but you didn't watch any film on his college career, on his rookie season. You didn't see any of this stuff. It takes him until the Giants game to figure out that Breece Hall could be a weapon in the passing game. So that's bad enough. But the fact that he's so stupid that he would say that out loud to the New York media and fan base shows that you have such a disconnect with reality. Like, who would think nobody's talking to this guy? Is he on an island? So 11.6 carries a game was his average for the season. Against the Patriots, he gets 37 carries. Now, who saw it coming? He needed 182 yards to get to 1,000. Who's going to get that? So we just left it off the table. We would have loved to see him get 1,600 all-purpose yards. That's a big deal for the Jets. Right, yeah, good shit. But then he rips a 50-yarder around the left side. He needed like 60 yards to get to 1,000. And all of a sudden, my imperviousness to anything the Jets could have done to hurt me today, all of a sudden, my heart starts getting in it. My juices start going. I start getting excited. Oh my God, maybe we can get this guy 1,000 yards. Wouldn't that be great for Breece Hall? We misused him all damn year. We force-fed Dalvin Cook and Michael Carter as our third down back all year long. And he was a good soldier the whole year. Finally, we start using him the past 2 weeks, and he's showing the NFL what he really is, showing the Jets what he really is. We give the Patriots the ball. They got 1 minute and 40 seconds or something like that. I'm thinking, get the ball back. Even on the kickoff, I said, get a fumble and get the ball back. Get Breece Hall. He needed 10 yards. They fumble it on the kickoff. But his butt didn't. They said his butt hit the ground, which it didn't upon review, but they didn't review it, so whatever. Okay, so I think it's gone. The Jets stop him, and we get the ball back with 18 seconds left, and I start freaking out. Oh my God. You got to have awareness. If they come out and do victory pose, I'm going to be furious. And guess what? They didn't. They came out and they gave him the ball, which made me think, oh my God, the Jets get it. There's something positive we could squeeze out of this rotten lemon of a season. They give him the ball and he gets 6. He needs 4 more. And they let the clock run out with 13 seconds left, which I can't even tell you. They made me care. They did it. They said, Green Bean doesn't care. Nothing can hurt his feelings. We must find a way. Do not go to victory pose. You must give him that 10 yards. We got 18 seconds to get 10 yards, everybody. He's got to know that he's 10 yards away, right? Somebody has to tell these idiots. They cannot go to victory pose. If they do, I'm going to be furious. We're going to fucking run it. They know. And we got 2 timeouts. Run, Breece. Oh, he's got 6 of them. Call that timeout, Salah. Salah! You fucking asshole!
Motherfucker!
What is wrong with you? 4 more yards. They made me care about a game I couldn't. If we win, great. We end the streak. We lose, great. We don't go back in draft position. We even can jump up a spot or 2. Great. They made me care. And then they stole it. The kid needs 4 yards to get to 1,000, and they let the clock run out. Now, it's not because Salah's so unawares. It's not. He was aware. He was aware. But guess what? Not only have we been talking about the incompetence of the offensive coordinator, of the running backs coach, the wide receivers coach, the offensive line coach, the passing game coordinator, the quarterbacks, the offensive line itself. Complete ineptitude, complete incompetence. The head coach, we have questioned his abilities throughout this whole year. Incompetent this, incompetent that. We know all that stuff. We finally get to a place where Salah looks like, okay, we got a stud running back. We're going to get him to 1,000, hell or high water. You got 13 seconds to do it. We got 2 timeouts. We're going to call one. We're going to give it to him. But guess why they didn't? Because there's one more fella that is completely inept on our staff that we had no idea was even there. Maybe he's been tainting us all year long. I just don't know. But it turns out our statistician, our team stat guy, told Salah he's good. He did it. He was 10 yards off the whole time. We're good. He broke it. He needed 1. We got 6. He made it. There's no reason to run him again. Why risk injury? I'm telling you right now, if I was Robert Saleh, I don't care what this guy's ever done. What could he do? A statistician, I don't care what accolades I've bestowed upon him throughout the year for whatever the hell this guy does. I'd go, hey, come here, man. You're fired. That's what I would do. You, my friend, need to get out of my house. They made me care. 4 more yards. And they stole it. I can't even believe it. I really can't. And they won the game, which again, I was leaning. Obviously, I was leaning. Lost draft position, but I was fine. We won. We ended the streak, and we started scoring some points, having some fun, laying some wood. That was great. I was totally in. Fine. Great. But then what happens? The Tennessee Titans win. The Raiders look like they're going to win. The Giants are beating the hell out of the Eagles when I'm currently recording this. We would have jumped all the way up potentially. If the Chargers win with the resting Chiefs, everything would have happened for the Jets to get a top 5 pick. I just can't stand it. I just can't stand it, everybody. Maximum pain. That's all. But I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest on. We won. We ended the streak. We popped Belichick right in his nutbag right before he leaves the New England Patriots, if that is in fact what takes place. Salah gets to beat Belichick. It's all good. Look at this. So this is let's talk about the year's positive things, okay? Here we go. This year of complete crazy disappointment, right? From the 4th play of the game on, disappointing. We've had our moments, sure, but here's the big stuff. You ready? Number 1, we finally beat the goddamn Eagles. We've never beaten the Eagles in our entire history. Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh and Paul Hackett's son get together and they beat the undefeated Eagles at that time. Hand them their big loss. Yeah, big one. End the streak. Now, we go into the bye. Robert Saleh hasn't won a game coming out of the bye yet. So guess what? We come out, we look like turds, but we beat the Giants after the bye, ending that streak. Yay! All right. How about this? We haven't had a wide receiver get 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons since 1999. This millennium, we did that too. Yeah! It would have been real nice to add that 1,000-yard rusher thing because we haven't done that since Chris Ivory. Almost 996. I'm saying it's 1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000 yards where I come from, baby. Plus, he could have totally gotten it with the 13 seconds and the whole thing, right? So that's 1,000. We end the streak against the Patriots. No more. It's over. We've beaten them. Yay! Hey! You know what else we did? Robert Saleh got to beat Bill Belichick. Hey! And here's the last one. We didn't get a worse record than last year. Now, we didn't go up, but we didn't go down. So technically speaking, we have not gotten worse since last year. It's the first time. This is good stuff. This is pretty good. We've been on the downward spiral for a while. And now Salah's first year, he gets 4 wins, whatever it was, and he goes up to 7. Yeah, okay, all right. Now we looked like we were going to be a 5-win team this year. We end up scraping together 7 because we won 3 out of the last 5. And we stay, we got a Hall of Fame quarterback coming back. Yeah, man, we managed with all this adversity. Good job, Jets. Yeah. So there you go. And we can add to that, we got consistent years with an all-pro. That's new. Hello. Hey. All right. So we got some fun. Okay. This is pretty good, right? This is pretty good stuff. Still looks like we're going to have a top 10 pick. It might go up down a little bit. Who knows? But again, if you got these teams like the Raiders, if they can hold on again, by the time you see this, you'll know, but I don't know currently. If the Giants can hold on, if the Raiders can hold on, I don't think the Giants have anything to do with us, but if we lost, they would have, right? We would have moved up in front of them, which would have been really, 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 really nice, right? We would have, I think so. But so the Raiders, the Titans, all those teams could have pushed us back. But if the Titans won, the Raiders look like, they're ahead right now, so that's nice to see. And we got the Chargers later. So, hey, maybe we stay right here at 9 where we are. Maybe. Okay, that'd be better. And that's a top 10 pick, and that's valuable, guys. Don't forget. Everybody goes, what's a pick? What's 2 picks? Well, tell me what 2 picks was last year in the last year's draft. Because I don't care what they said on Flight 23. We were taking Broderick Jones if we had the 13th overall pick. That's who we were taking. I'm convinced. I think the Jets would have, and we should have just taken Anton Harrison. That's a whole different thing. I don't know where I'm going. I'm starting to go down a whole different path that I want to go to. But guys, a pretty good season. You think about everything that happened, all the mismanagement, all the baloney, the lack of offensive line we brought in this year, the terrible choice with our first round pick, the mismanagement of the backup quarterback position even before A-Rod got here. But when he went down with the 4th play of the game, you could have gotten a Wentz, you could have gotten a Flacco, you could have traded for whoever. You could have done so many things. We did nothing. We got Trevor Siemian. Who knows? Maybe he's good. Maybe he's good enough. He did win a game. So who knows? But, hey, with all that said, we still didn't get worse than last year. We won games in December and January, so there's that, right? Lots of positive stuff. Lots of meat on the bone for these young kids to go into next season. So let's talk about Bryce Huff, huh? What do you think about this? Now, when the Jets drafted Will McDonald with their first-round pick last year, it was my thought that this is the edge rusher that we lose. This is the replacement. We're planning on not paying someone, whether that's Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff, whoever. It's my belief that we're going to lose both. Now, I would love to see them find a solution to the Huff thing and just keep him on the team. I love Bryce Huff. He's a homegrown talent. I would love to see it happen. An undrafted free agent become one of these, elite guys that we get to keep. That'd be great. Don't see it happening. Don't think we're going to have the money to do it when we got to rebuild the entire offensive line and get some wide receiver help in here. Just don't see it. I don't think you're going to be able to do both in the draft alone. So we got to spend money. Got to do it. So Bryce Huff's going to go. Now, here's the thing with Bryce Huff. He was asked, will there be a hometown discount for the New York Jets? He said, there will be no discount. Now, can you blame the guy? He's an undrafted free agent, so he was on that baloney contract for the first 3 years of his career. Then he gets a $5 million-ish contract last year with the restricted free agent situation. So, okay, great. But this guy knows this is my payday year. He doesn't know what the future holds. I'm going to get paid now. The word on the street is there's expected to be significant interest in Bryce Huff on the free agent market. So the Jets absolutely must tag him. Must. I don't care about the risk of paying him. I don't care. You must tag and you negotiate a trade. And if the best you can do is a third, then you take that third. If the best you can do. But it's my belief that you're going to get at minimum a second for Bryce Huff. And I'm telling you, especially breaking 10.5 sacks, which he did in this week's game, he's not an every down player. He had 10.5 sacks as a part-time player with a more significant rotation than you see with many teams. This guy, he's going to be sought after. I believe there might be a team that just signs him and gives us the first with the franchise tag. No negotiation, no trade negotiation necessary. That could be. I also believe that the Jets give him a non-exclusive and let his agent do the work of the negotiating. Go ahead. Go find your team. Go out there and aggressively seek your team and then give us either that first or that second round pick. Don't forget the Jets don't have a second round pick this year. So that increases the value and the need to get one. Again, I prefer we keep him. I love Bryce Huff. But if you're going to lose him, you got to get something. The interest is there. You do not allow this guy to walk and hope for a comp pick in 2026. You don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it. You hear me? You don't do that. I don't care. Whatever the risk is, if you end up having to pay him, there's worse things in the world than paying an elite level edge rusher. That's my thoughts on Bryce Huff. So, what do you think about this one? Now, I don't know when I'm recording this who's getting fired. Okay? I don't know. You might know by the time you're hearing it, but I don't. Tomorrow when you know, I'll know too, but I don't know right now. So what guys are going to get fired? Here's my prediction. This is what I think. I think there is a very realistic possibility that Keith Carter goes, that Todd Downing could go. I'm telling you, I buy into the idea that maybe Rob Calabrese can go as well. I mean, he's a young coach, and they've been bringing him up for years. He's never been in this position before, so they might not want to waste the years that they put into him. But they'll bring in a viable offensive mind to assist. And I'm going to tell you this too: I am not 100% sure that the Jets won't look to bring in an actual offensive coordinator and just push Hackett to the quarterback coach. You move Calabrese to an offensive assistant-ish kind of a role, assistant quarterback coach, whatever. You move Hackett to just work with A-Rod. That's all you're going to do. He loves you. You guys are hunky-dory brothers and all that. You guys work together. It's clearly the results speak for themselves. As far as you managing an offensive team, clearly you have no idea what you're doing. It was evident in Denver. It's more evident here now. We have the worst offense that we've ever had. You didn't even know Breece Hall could be a threat out of the backfield. What kind of shit is this? You just go work with Aaron Rodgers. We're going to bring in an offensive mind. You bring in a new offensive line coach. My hope is that you go to Cleveland and you take Callahan's assistant, bring him in and just start there. I don't care what the offensive scheme is. You just get a guy that can figure it out with the offensive line. You're going to be bringing in a whole bunch of new bodies. It's a whole new unit, whole new thing. That's what they should do. I'm not convinced Hackett will be our OC. I know he's going to be on the staff. I would be blown away if they just straight up fired him. But I'm telling you, they might. I think there's a good chance that they might go peg a young offensive mind to come in here and start helping with some new offensive schemes, a little bit more, utilization of your skill that you have on the unit. I would love to see it. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And that's the route that I want to go. Now, guys, let us now get into the top 3 plays of the entire 2023 New York Jets season in this week's Intelligent Gripe. All right, well, let's do number 3 first. Okay, now this isn't going to be a play. This is going to be a collection. It's going to be a series of moments that we do as our top three, okay? As our number three in our top three. It's all going to push three plays into one. And let's say the 3 interception game by our safety Jordan Whitehead in the season opener against the Buffalo Bills. The same game that A-Rod went down. What's his face, who probably won't be on the team next year, manages to pull 3 interceptions in for the New York Jets, giving our offense 3 extra attempts to try to score and removing 3 offensive opportunities from the Buffalo Bills, really, really helping our chances to win the game. So there's our number 3, all 3 interceptions in week 1 of the New York Jets season. Now, what's play number 2? Let me go way back, all the way to week 1 again with the bobble catch by one Garrett Wilson, where when that moment happened, that touchdown, I was convinced this guy, this wide receiver, just might be what we would call special. He's not just good. He's special. Justin Jefferson-esque special. Figuring out a way to pull in balls that just shouldn't be pulled in. Left hand reaching in front of the defensive back, Bob, while falling backward. Boop, bop, beep. Catches that ball. Play number 2 of the year, week 1. Garrett Wilson's bobble touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. Now, what would be the number 1 play of the entire season? Is it against the Eagles, maybe? The Tony Adams pick. It's up there. Could it be the Quincy Williams sack of Russell Wilson that knocked the ball loose and Bryce Hall scooped it up en route to a touchdown for the defense? Could it be any of our myriad safeties that we've pulled off this year? Oh my gosh, amazing. Could it be the big kick in the Commanders game to win the game and ruin the tank? Could it be that one? I don't know. I'm going to go way back to week 1 again. Come on. You gotta say, you have to agree with, you know what I'm going to say. You know it. It's got to be little tiny free agent, undrafted free agent, wide receiver who shouldn't even have made the team if we were built right. The punt return for a touchdown to win the game and make the Aaron Rodgers going down piece before we knew it was an Achilles, mind you. Beating our division rival Buffalo Bills on Monday night in front of the world and the lights, right? Little Gippy runs around the left side, skiddly ding dangs all the way down to the end zone for a game-winning touchdown. So exciting, in fact, Robert Saleh ended up on the bottom of the pile of players in the end zone. You can't hold Robert Saleh back when something good's happening. When it's bad, different story. He doesn't really have much to say, much to do, much to work on, doesn't think of much. But exciting, fun stuff, he's in. We're just going to call him Good News Saleh. That's what we should call him. Right. Happy Dance Robert. There he goes. So that's our number 1 play of the entire. Isn't that a sad thing? From my perspective, the greatest plays, and there were others that qualify, like a top 10 or something like that, right? Sure. But as far as the 3 best plays of the year, and again, one of them is 3 plays, so that's a little cheating, but that's okay. It's my list. My top 3 plays are all the way back in game 1. Can you believe it? What a sad state of affairs. But it's the truth. I think that play, no matter what your list is, the Gibson punt return for a touchdown, especially considering the circumstances, has to be everybody's number 1 of the year. He's never made it to the end zone again as far as from a punt return. He did get a sweep, a little sweepy touchdown, sure. I think Gibson's got some value. We'll see where he shouldn't be a starter, but he's got some value. So we found a little guy there. But there it is. So the top 3 plays of the Jets 2023 season are all in week 1 when we all believed that we were going to go to the Super Bowl. That was the week, remember? That was the day. The day it lived and died all one day, September 11th, 2023. And that is the Intelligent Gripe. So everybody, here we go into the most wonderful time of the year for Jets fans. It is the offseason. That's the way it goes. Get this bullshit season. Get it over with. We want to go into the offseason where player evaluations and free agency and the combine and Senior Bowl and the draft. Yeah, that's where we do best. And I'm excited to get into it with you guys this year. Yet again, I am a firm believer that the Jets absolutely have taken their pill. They've taken their medicine. They understand we cannot do anything but overcompensate in positions like offensive line and wide receiver. It has been the scourge of this team for the entirety of the Joe Douglas era. And it's going to be fun to watch this team have a better offseason than last year. Last year's offseason was atrocious in my opinion. The years before I liked. This year, no good. But coming on to 2024, it's going to be a good offseason. We are starting our Monday Night Mock on February 5th. Dom C and myself, with a host of guests, are going to break down these prospects and do mock drafts with you where you get to make the choice on which players. We do votes for every single pick, every single trade. You get a say in what the mock draft is. The funny thing about it is no matter what, at the end of the draft, people go, you suck. This is the worst draft in the world. Even though you guys picked it, it's one of the fun things that happens in the Monday Night Mock. We will start that February 5th. I hope you will join us. It's going to be a great time. And don't forget this. One last little nugget before we go. If I wasn't a gambling addict with like almost 20 years of no gambling, I'd be willing to put 10 grand on the table that the era of these bullshit Chris Johnson, Adam Gase uniforms is over, and we're going to see a return of the swooshy Jet helmet that we saw a couple times this year. That's going to be our number 1 uniform. This uniform right here, our legacy jerseys as they were called this year. That's the uniform we will see. This Wayne Corbett, that's the green version of the uniform, but it will keep our green, our Gotham green helmets, the shine. I love it. I think that's what's going to happen. I'd put 10 grand on it. That's what we're going to see. So we're going to crush this whole era. We're going to put it behind us and move forward into freshness. I hope you're going to be here for it. We're going to have a great offseason. With that all said, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to smash the milk dumbs for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Have a great week. And as always, go Jets!